Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. We've just had our latest Pokemon Home update, and with it comes two brand new shiny mystery gift mythical rewards. We're going to cover all of the details in today's video. We can see the news here dropping courtesy of Joe over at Cerebi. Two new distributions of Keldeo and shiny Meltan have begun in Pokemon Home. Get Keldeo for completing the Galar, Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra Pokedexes, and get Meltan for completing the Kanto Pokedexes. You can take a closer look at all of the details here. New distribution has begun for Pokemon Home. This distribution is the 4th and 5th Pokedex completion tasks, which unlocks if you complete the Pokedex inside of Pokemon Home. Complete the Galar Pokedex, which includes the Galar Pokedex, the Isle of Armor Pokedex, and the Crown Tundra Pokedex. So there's DLCs of Pokemon Sword and Shield. You will get given a shiny Keldeo. This is the first time we've had this shiny mythical Pokemon available in the games. A bit like the Enamorus, a bit like the Meloetta, we've never had this Pokemon available in its shiny before. Now we have the opportunity to get it. It is a bit of a tall task with all 3 Pokedexes needing to be complete in Pokemon Home to get it, but it is a very nice mystery gift. And we do have another one as well. If you complete the Kanto Pokedex from Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you will be given a shiny Meltan. So again, this isn't the first time this Pokemon has been available. We've had special events throughout the last few years where you have had the opportunity for a very limited time to get a shiny Meltan. This is the first time in actual game that we're able to get shiny Meltan. So a really nice way for us to be able to get it. Again, bit of a tall order when it comes to receiving these gifts, and you will need to have, like the Enamorus, like the Manaphy, and like that shiny Meloetta before that we've had. You're going to need your mobile because you're going to need to have Pokemon Home on your mobile. Now when you're on the landing page, hit the menu screen and come to Pokedexes. This is going to allow you to see the progress that you need to make to complete the tasks for your Pokedexes. Now you'll have 3 tabs across the top: Games, National, and Others. You want to hit the Games section. This will bring you to all the different Pokedexes that you've got in Pokemon Home. Now, you can see the ones that we're going to want to complete for these 2 brand new mystery gifts. You're going to have the Galar Pokedex, needs 400, Isle of Armor Pokedex, which is 210, and the same amount for the Crown Tundra Pokedex. Kanto Pokedex, which is Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, only needs 150, the base 150 Pokemon we had introduced. So they're the ones you have to get. See, ahead of time, knew this event would be dropping at some point. Have complete all my Pokedexes here. So once they are complete, you'll have a little crown next to the corresponding Pokedex. So when you go into them, you'll be able to see what Pokemon you're missing and what you'll need to go into to get from in-game. Now, when you've complete your Pokedexes, you come into that Games tab. You're going to be able to see an exclamation mark next to the Pokedexes that you have complete. Now, if you click into those, once that exclamation mark, once they're complete, you'll get a message from Grand Oak. Brilliant, we're one step closer to fulfilling a Pokedex. I've seen you've registered every single Pokemon in the Galar Pokedex, Isle of Armor, and Crown Tundra. You were most certainly the right one to entrust with this job. Absolutely brilliant. I hope we keep up the fantastic work. That message will appear every time you complete one of the corresponding Pokedexes and get the reward. Then you click through and you'll be given a mystery gift. This mystery gift will then not be sent directly to your Pokemon Home boxes. You'll have to come into your gift boxes, which from the menu screen, click the menu and click mystery gifts, and then go into your gift box option. You scroll right down to the bottom and you'll see the Pokedex completion commemoration gifts. And if you click into those, you'll see you'll be able to claim the Keldeo for the Sword and Shield, Isle of Armor, and Crown Tundra. And then the same one, commemoration number 4, will be the Meltan for the Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And once you've claimed those Pokemon will be sent to the first available slots in your Pokemon Home boxes. So you'll have to come back onto your Switch at this point, and then you'll be able to go in and transfer these Pokemon over to the corresponding games. For Keldeo, it can be transferred into Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it can be transferred into Scarlet and Violet. You can see it comes in at level 50. It is a modest nature, comes in a Cherish Ball, and it has the moveset Sacred Sword, Aqua Tail, Double Kick, and Quick Guard. So you can see it will be shiny. Looking great for the first time that we've been able to get this. The Meltan, on the other hand, does come in at level 50. Of course, a Cherish Ball as well. Adamant Nature, and Flash Cannon, Acid Armor, Thunder Wave, and Headbutt is the moveset there. So Keldeo can be traded into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Pokemon Sword and Shield, We'll put ours into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet so we can get a good look at it. Meltan, on the other hand, there are a few caveats with Meltan. It cannot be evolved, unfortunately. The only way to evolve Meltan is in Pokemon Go by collecting 400 Meltan candies, and then you have to evolve it in that game before you trade it into Pokemon Home to the corresponding game after that. It can only be traded into Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Sword and Shield. So you're not going to be able to trade this one into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And no matter what you do, once you've traded it into Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee or Sword and Shield, you're not going to be able to evolve it. So as it stands at the moment, it is eternally locked and stuck as a Meltan. You're not going to be able to get a shiny Melmetal in game, which is a little bit of a double-edged sword for this event in particular. But you never know, for future events down the line, we may get a method in game where we are able to evolve it into Melmetal and finally get ourselves a shiny Melmetal. So that is the games that they can transfer into. And another thing to mention is that Keldeo does have two forms. It has its normal form and its resolute form. Now, to change the form of Keldeo in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet or Pokemon Sword and Shield, it just needs to know the move Secret Sword. Now, if you're in Scarlet and Violet and you want to change its form, what you need to do is check the summary of Keldeo and then come into its moves and remember moves. It will be a move that it knows from its base. It doesn't need to level up anything to get Secret Sword. I'm going to just come down to the bottom of the list. Secret Sword will be there. Just teach it to Keldeo. And once you've done that, once this relearn move has been complete, your Keldeo will automatically transform into its resolute form. And it looks amazing in this form. Probably my favorite out of the two forms. And yeah, there we go. That's as easy as it gets. And if you want it to change back into its normal form, just have it forget the move Secret Sword. And that will be that. These are the two Pokemon mystery gifts that are available and how you get them. But registering the Pokemon in Pokemon Home is another story. For a Pokemon to be registered against the corresponding Pokedexes, you need to make sure that these Pokemon have the corresponding origin mark of that game. So for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the origin mark is a little Pikachu face with Eevee ears. That's the silhouette. As long as the Pokemon that you're transferring into Pokemon Home has that origin mark, it will be registered alongside that Kanto Pokedex. And it doesn't need to have your original trainer ID next to that Pokemon. You could get these Pokemon from friends that you know or people online that have traded these Pokemon into your copy of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Same can be said for Pokemon Sword and Shield as well. It does have the origin mark of a stylized Pokeball, if you can see here. And every Pokemon that needs to be registered in the Pokemon Home Pokedex for the Galar region, Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra just need to have that origin mark. Again, it doesn't need to have your original trainer ID to register in the Pokedex of Pokemon Home. It just needs to have been caught or bred in those games. So you can get help from others to complete these Pokedexes. You don't need to necessarily go out and get them all yourself. And that's another caveat as well. There are a lot of version exclusives between Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, so you're going to have to trade if you don't have two copies of the game. And also in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, we do know there are version exclusives between those two copies, so again, you're going to have to trade with people to be able to get those version exclusives if you don't have two copies of the game. Some tips as well, if you are breeding in Pokemon Sword and Shield, if you're going for a full evolution line, just make sure you breed enough Pokemon to cover every single different evolution. So if you're looking for something like a Bulbasaur, make sure you get 3 eggs. So when you hatch them, you can have one as a Bulbasaur, one as an Ivysaur when you evolve it, and then the third one can be the Venusaur in that final evolution. That'll just make it easier trading those into Pokemon Home rather than hatching one Bulbasaur, trading it into Home, back into Sword, then evolving it into Ivysaur, doing the same again, and then doing it over again. So that's essentially 3 times over you would do it, whereas it's just straightforward to just get 3 eggs, evolve them all into their different forms, and then trade them all in one go. Same can be said if you're catching wild Pokemon. Just catch a number of the different wild Pokemon that you need to match the corresponding evolution line of that Pokemon. Just think of it like you're essentially creating a living dex for this completion task. But once you've got them all, trade them into Pokemon Home. And like I say, you can go in and claim these rewards. That is everything for today. Good luck with your Pokedex completion. Hope you have a lot of luck getting those Pokemon and getting everything complete. If you've already done it ahead of time, Great job, and I hope you have a lot of fun collecting these Pokemon in game. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you found today's video useful, do drop a like, do subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all of our Pokemon content, and I'll see you all in another video very soon. So until then, friends, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.